Hi everyone. So sorry but we're having construction done on our driveway, and I'm hoping that this will block some of the different sounds that are happening. But I was taking a class today, and I have a feeling a lot of you are going to be able to relate to this. And it's something that it is part of our healing process that we need to address this, if you will. So I was sitting in a class, and I'm doing it's a Zoom class, and the teacher said that he was going to break us up into partners. And I immediately started getting very anxious over that. I couldn't even focus on the rest of the class because he just said in the beginning, okay, towards the end of the session, I'm going to break you off so you guys can practice. And boom, I was in this other land of total anxiety and stress. Gone. I didn't focus on anything else that he talked about in the entire lecture. And I was like, and then when he came down, he's like, okay, I'm gonna break you up into groups. I sat there and was like, okay, do I stay or do I just zip out? Maybe I should just zip out. I think I'm gonna zip out. And then the other part of me was like, no, you need to do this. Like, you really need to do this, Denise. Like, you have to learn this. You have to practice. And I'm sitting there and I wasn't the only one, because I'm watching as so-and-so leaves the room, so-and-so leaves the room. Zoom will tell you who leaves the room or whatever. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, I should duck out. I really should duck out. But I ended up staying, and I came up with every excuse under the sun for my partner. I immediately set myself up for failure. I'm like, I'm new at this. This is the first time I'm taking this kind of a class. I'm putting all the excuses in line, if you will. So she does her portion. I asked her to go do hers first, so she jumped right in. And then it was my turn. And the whole time that she's doing her portion, my mind is like racing, and I'm like, how am I going to answer this? What is she looking for? Oh my gosh, so I wasn't even focusing on what she was doing because I was having so much angst. So when it came my turn, I just totally blew it. I put so much pressure on myself that I couldn't rein in my thoughts to save my life. I totally flopped it. And I was like, oh my God, Denise. Anyway, and I sit there and I wonder why. Like, throughout my career as a nurse and everything, or different things I've done, even this class isn't for a grade. I'm not being graded on any of this. This is a choice that I made to take this class. All I get is a certificate stating, oh yeah, you participated in it. So what is in us that creates this angst? When we have to perform something in front of somebody, like that, in like almost like a classroom setting. Where is that stemming from? So I have a feeling a lot of this, what I'm about ready to say, is going to relate to a lot of you. And then this is why I'm putting out this video. But I got done the class, and I went downstairs to my partner, and I was like, oh my God, that was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I screwed up. Like, I messed that one up. He's like, well, what happened? So I go and I tell him, oh God, we had this practicum, and I was trying to say things to her to try and pull more information from her, and she was stoic, like wouldn't even answer me. And I'm just like, she wasn't giving me anything to go on, I was coming up with all my stuff. So I decided okay, I really need to get a handle on this. Geez Louise, I'm 52 years old. What the heck? Why is this still bothering? Why is this still such an issue for me? So what I was shown was, again, I did a video on this a few weeks ago about my shadow archetype of pleasing people, wanting to always provide an answer for someone. So that was the first thing that Spirit showed me was, again, this archetype was rearing its ugly little head. And I thought, oh, I acknowledged it, maybe it'll go away. Well, no, it's still freaking there. I still didn't get rid of it. So, needless to say, it showed through today. And I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense. So then I was like, okay, you know what? Let's really get to the heart of this, of why where did this originate? Everything always has an origin. So I went to Spirit. I'm like, Spirit, show me where this originated. So what it was showing me was, in my childhood, there was four siblings. Okay, I was kind of the third in the pack, and I didn't get a lot of love. You know, it was kind of like my dad did, but he worked a lot, so he was never really home. So my mother was pretty much the one that us kids went to for nurturing and love. And I don't know about you, but I had a really tough-ass mother. And being nurturing and loving and warm was not my mother. So what Spirit was showing me was one way that I had created a feeling of love was through pleasing others. And through this pleasing of others created this archetype of having to be right. Because by being right, in an off branch of it, by having the answer, it was like almost like the dog, you know, oh, sit boy, and then the dog would sit, and then you give him a treat, and you can tell he's happy, you know, oh, you pat him on the head, and you give him some love. So it's almost like that in human form, you know. If I could please someone by doing something for them or answering, you know, having whatever they needed, then that equated love for me. So I was like, wow, okay, that explains where this comes from. I'm equating having the answer as love. Wow, this goes deeper. No wonder this little archetype reared its ugly little head today, you know. This goes deeper than I thought. So then I was like, okay, well, why is it that in a classroom setting, or I mean, even outside, I did a trauma wilderness first aid for like 3 days out in the wilderness, and where we practiced doing first aid on people. And I just remember like trying to duck out, you know, oh, I need the bathroom, you know, or something else would come up, and I would try and duck out on the practicum. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. I could do it. I just didn't want to do it in front of somebody. And I was just, and as I look back, I'm like, wow, I do this all the time. You know, I was a trail builder, and I would go on the chainsaw crew. You know, after a storm, we'd all go out, and I was this what we call swamper, and I would clear the road. I would clear whatever the chainsawers cut up, or I would watch up above for if it was windy day to make sure the chainsawer was safe, and check. I was kind of the environmental safety patrol, if you will. And I decided I wanted to go into the chainsawing piece of it. And the funny part is, I can handle a chainsaw. I do it by myself. But having to do it in front of somebody, I couldn't do it. I froze. And I'm like, I know how to do this. I do this. What the shit, Denise? So today, as I was going through, and I'm like, okay, so my shadow archetype of pleasing others is my form of love. Okay, got it. But where did this angst of this classroom participation thing come from? And what Spirit showed me was a little girl sitting at a desk. And oh my gosh, 2nd grade, I saw my 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. O'Brien. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought about this woman since probably 2nd grade. And I swore this woman hated me. Absolutely swore this woman hated me. And what it showed me was, it showed her asking me a question, and I didn't have the answer. And instead of moving on to the next person, she kept pushing me, trying to push me into the answer. And I was getting really angst because I felt like I'm displeasing her. I'm not getting the answer that she wants to hear, so therefore I'm creating this. She's not going to love me. She's not going to like me. And I never came up with the answer. So what they were showing me was, it was at that moment that I created, I don't want to say trauma, but in a way it was very traumatic. So it created this thought process within me that created, that now manifests itself whenever I'm put on the spot. of having to have that answer. You know, I remember in school, like, if the teacher said, we're going to go down and everyone, you know, I want you to answer each question. We'll start with Tommy, you know. I would sit there and I would count where I would be in that question, and I'd be going through my book to make sure I had that right answer. You know, I would get so like, So what Spirit, so I'm going to give you the message of Spirit said. So this all made a lot of sense to me. I was like, oh my God, okay, this explains why I get this angst in this classroom setting. So I was like, well, what can I do to heal this? So what the message I received from Spirit is just the process of knowing where this stems from and the reason behind it. Like, you know, I'm equating it with love, and that I just acknowledging it, I'm acknowledging that emotion as a small child, that starts the healing process. Now I know, now I understand why I get to say, now I can sit there and say to myself, you know, next Tuesday when I take the class, you know, again, we meet again, I can sit there and say to myself, sit with that emotion and say, okay, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to feel this way. I understand why I am feeling this way, and it's okay, but I'm in a safe place. The teacher has actually created a safe place, if you will, for any answers, because there is no wrong answer in what I'm taking. But I have to understand that. So next Tuesday, what I need to do is when I start feeling that, oh my God, I don't want to participate, I need to tell myself, this is not second grade. You're safe. You're safe. It's okay. So when I asked Spirit for a message, this is the message that I received, and I'm just going to read it off to you. And I have a feeling that this will relate to a lot of people, this story. But pleasing others likens the thought process of love. And it goes on to say your childhood was a struggle of feeling loved, so you always equated always having an answer as a form of love, which we already talked about. So then it says, true love answers requires trust that the right answer will always be the answer, regardless of right or wrong, because again, there are no wrong answers. So then it goes on, and Spirit says, making a feeling of love is creating a space to allow one to express their thought process without receiving judgment. So, you know, you can have that teacher who creates that nurturing environment of, yes, you know, yes, Denise, okay, yeah, you could think of it that, you know, I might be totally off on what she says is the answer, but I'm sure you remember those teachers that were nurturing, that would be like, you know, you would say something and they would be like, oh yeah, good thought, wow, I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, keep going, you're on the right track, you know, keep on going. You know, they never said, oh no, you're wrong, Then you have this other group of teachers who are like, you know, my partner's and my ex-husband, his grandmother was very proud that she never gave an A. She was a teacher. She never gave A's out. So you've got those two different environments. So if we try to create a nurturing space, then we can start to eliminate this trauma throughout, you know, for our children, for our grandchildren, you know, giving them that nurturing space. Or even just like what I'm going to do on Tuesday. Tell myself I'm in a safe space. There is no right or wrong answer. And that, you know, walking myself through that, I'm going to see how it goes. We'll see. We'll see how it goes next Tuesday. You know, I'm sitting here on the video saying, oh yeah, I could do this. And yeah, we'll see what happens on Tuesday. But anyway, but I just wanted to pass that on to you, because I feel like this is probably something that other people go through the same thing I do, but maybe by me telling my story, this will get you start thinking and on your way to healing that issue, you know, working it out and realizing it, and then how to handle it. So anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like. If you like my videos and you want more, hit subscribe. I also enclose my email address. Feel free to email me with questions, comments, experiences. I do Akashic record reading if you have, you know, you stuck on your soul purpose, or you want your galactic heritage, anything along those lines, email me. I'll set you up for an Akashic record reading. And even if you're just kind of like stuck and there's something going on and you're just not sure what it is, you know, and you just want some guidance, email me. What's the worst I'm going to say? Forget you? No, just email me, you know, maybe I can help you. And if I can't, I'll be honest with you and tell you I don't have that answer for you. But I may be able to direct you in a way to find that answer. So anyway, I hope this helps some people. And I'm going to see how it goes next Tuesday. Bye.